So to find these angle measures, you kind of have, it's kind of like a puzzle. And the first thing you have to do is look for the most obvious one. And really there's not, no, actually there is one obvious one. Do you see how E is an obvious one? Why is
Yeah,
E going to be obvious?
because so, by the right angle,
It's not only is it by the right angle, but
on the
it's a
right angle.
straight angle. Yep, it's a straight
So
angle, right?
it's either 90 degrees or 180, right?
Yeah, so this has to, E has to be 90 degrees because this is already 90 degrees. Can you see
Okay.
that? So
Yeah,
E has to be 90. And why is C also very easy?
because it tells you it's 53.
Yeah, and what do you know? What do you know about this line? About this line right here?
It's 90 degrees. It has to equal 90 degrees, right?
No, no, straight lines don't equal 90. Straight angles are what?
180.
180. So what does C have to be?
C has to be 90.
No, not 90. It's got to be whatever. It's got to C plus 53. C
Equal
plus 53 has to add up to, what do we just say?
180.
Yeah, these have to add up to 180. So how can you find C? If these two have to add up to 180, what can you do to find C?
So has to add up to,
Can't you just subtract
yeah,
53?
yeah,
And that's what we're gonna do. So C equals 127.
yeah.
Okay. Now if we have C, I'm gonna write them in as we go. If C is 127, then what can I find next? What other variable can I find now?
E. Oh, no E. G.
How about D?
Okay.
Remember, the bigger things aren't actually, these actually aren't things we have to find. These are just labeled. The
Okay.
angle measures are the small angles, small letters. A, B, C, D, and E. Those are the things I'm trying to find. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what is D? Why do I want to find D next? Tell me why I want to find D now that I found C.
You want to find D. Um,
What do you know about the angles in a triangle? What do they always have to add up to?
180 degrees.
hmm So how many angles do I have right now in this triangle?
3.
Well, I know two of them, right?
Yeah.
So if I know two of them, how can I find the other one?
Either add them or subtract them.
hmm So I know that 30 degrees plus 127 degrees plus D degrees has to equal what? What did you
100.
just say about the three angles in a triangle?
They all equal 180.
So how can I solve this equation now for D?
You could add 30 plus 127 and then subtract it from
Which is
180.
157, exactly, and then subtract it from 180. So D equals what? 323.
Yeah, 23.
Okay, so there's D. D is 23. Okay. Now
Okay.
tell me what else I can find.
You could find
Remember, I only
A.
need A and I need B.
Yeah, so
How
A.
can I find one of those? Look at them and tell me something I can use to find them.
The right angle,
Yeah. What do you know a right angle measures to?
90 degrees.
Yeah. So what can I say about B and 30 and 90?
They all they all equal 90 degrees.
So B plus 30 has to equal what?
90 degrees.
So how do I solve for B?
You do 30 minus 90.
Other way around,
90, yeah, 90 minus 30.
which is 60, right?
60.
So there's B, there's D, there's C. What else do I need?
A, right?
Oh, I already got D. Oh yeah, D was 23. A, yeah. How can I find A now? Oh, I already have E. So I just need A. How do I find A? Look at it and think it out like I've just been doing, okay? Look at it and think it out. You talk it through.
So you could probably, well, does it equal 90? Does A equal 90?
Why are you saying A is 90?
Because I don't really know what else it would be because there's no number near it. And
Look at the triangle that it's in.
oh yeah, there's 53 and then 60. So either subtract or add those.
So tell me what to do with 53 and 60. I'll write it out. You tell me what to do.
I think you add them together and then subtract them by 180.
Yeah, or you can look how I'm writing it. You're right. You're right. But I'm writing it as these three angles. Those are the three angles in the triangle. They have to equal 180, right? So like you said, add them together. So that's 113.
And
then subtract them from
67, I think.
Good job. Okay, see how that worked?
Yeah.
All right, this next one says, find the values of variable, the angles whose degree measure is noted in the figure. So we're just trying to basically solve for. Okay. So they want us to basically solve for X and find out what those degrees equal to. All right, this is a little bit trickier because, well, it's not really a ton trickier, but do you see how I've got both of these things are written in terms of X?
Yes.
But what do I know about those two angles? What do those have to add up to?
180 degrees.
Nope, not those two.
Each of them?
Yeah, they have to add up to 90 because this one is already what over here?
90 degrees.
That's already 90. So the other 90. So the other two angles have to add up to 90. So if I wanted to write that out, I would write 6x minus 4 plus 4x. See how I'm writing equations out of these?
Yeah.
6x minus 4 plus 4x plus 14 has to equal what, did we say?
90 degrees.
Good. Now, how do I solve this equation? Tell me what to do.
You do 6x times 4x, or is it added? Or you add them together?
You tell me.
I think you. Crap. I think you add them together.
Yep, that's right, because there's a plus sign in between it, right? So what's 6x plus 4x?
10x.
Now what?
And then you do negative 4 plus 14.
Which is?
10.
Okay. Then what?
Equals 90. And then you do minus 10 to 90, so you have 80. And then 80 divided by 10, which is 8. So x equals 8.
Now the answer isn't 8 though, because they asked you what are the measures of the angles. So now what do I have to do?
You have to do subtract 90 minus 8.
Nope. Look at what I've just found. I found X. But what did the question say? What did the question want me to find?
I want you to find the angles, right, for each.
But I found X. So what am I going to do with X?
Do you plug it back in? All right.
So what is this going to be? 6 times 8 minus 4. What's 6 times 8?
You have 6 times 8, 48,
Minus 4.
44.
And how about 4 times 8
So
plus
32,
14?
46.
There you go. There's your two answers.
All right. So if when you have a question like that and it's a right angle, you just do like you add the equations together that equals 90, you solve it, and then you plug your answer back in. So that's
Yep. If it's a question just like that, yep.
yeah. All right.
You basically just have to always ask yourself, what is it? What are they trying to ask you? What am I like when you're done with the problem? Don't just be like, oh, x equals 8, I'm done.
Yeah.
Make sure you look back at what the question's
How
asking you.
would you figure out what it equals if there is no like right angle right there?
You wouldn't, unless they gave you an angle there.
Okay.
You'd need to know what this equals. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to solve that equation.
Okay.
No, they didn't have to make it a right angle. They could have made it like 80, 85 degrees. Well, if that's the case, then you would say 85 plus that equals 180, right? And then you would solve it. But for this, I knew that these two had to add up to 90 because this was already 90.
Yeah.
Because all three of them had to add up to 180. So you kind of did part of it in your head already.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Figure shown, find the measure of the angles. All right. Well, you got this. You tell me what to do. I think you can do this one now. Walk me through it.
So you already have, this is for the figure shown right. Find M3. So I think you already have 50 and 44 as an angle. And then you have a 3 on the outside and a 4 on the inside. But you want to find that angle. And
So which one am I going to find first, 3 or 4?
4.
Why?
Put it on the inside.
And we already know the other two angles. So what am I going to write? Let's call this. Let's not write 4 because that's a number. Let's write X here. Okay. Right. So tell me what I can write. What's true about those angles on the inside?
They're it's true about them. Do they?
What's always true about the 3 angles of a triangle?
They always equal the same, right?
Which is what?
Well, you don't know. We don't know yet, right?
Yeah, we do know. What do all the angles always equal of a triangle?
180.
What's that?
Isn't it 180?
It's 180. So tell me what to write. What equals 180? You see how I'm writing the equation out? Yeah. What equals 180?
90?
Nope. What equals 180? What do we just say equals 180?
44 x plus 44.
Did you say 44x? Like 44 times x?
I said x plus 44.
Okay, x plus 44 plus something else?
50.
Yeah, there you go. You see what we did?
Yeah.
We just made an equation, and now what can we find?
So what I was thinking was that that it was only equal to 180 if it had a right angle inside.
No. Okay, so I'm glad you learned that. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Every right triangle, my fault. Every triangle, the angles all add up to 180.
Okay.
For every triangle.
Confusing me because I didn't know what it was equal to.
Yes, that's always true. The angles, the 3 angles of a triangle, the 3 interior angles of a triangle always add up to 180.
Okay.
So all we have to do is just do the math, right? X plus 94 equals 180. Subtract 94 from both sides, you get 86. Yep. X equals 86. Now, if I have x equals 86, then how can I find 3. So now I know angle 4 equals 86. Angle 4 equals 86 degrees. Well, how about a measure of angle 3?
Well, you do maybe 180 minus 86.
Exactly.
Alright.
So we'll call this y.
And then you get
Y plus 86 equals 180. So y equals 94. Perfect. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. I think you're getting the hang of it. Let's see if you can get this one. All right. They will probably want you to find the measure of angle 2. So what am I going to find first? Talk it out. Think it through.
It equals 180, right? This
What
triangle.
equals what equals 180?
The whole triangle, right? The angles.
The inside angles, yes, they do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that is true. But do we have 2 of the angles yet? We have 2 of the inside.
141 and 108. No, you only have 108 and 2. So you only have one angle.
That's right.
So if you
So what do you have to find first?
You have to find the second angle.
How can I find it?
You do.
How can I find this angle right here?
180 minus 108.
Nope. It's not 180 minus 108 because that's not necessarily anything because you still have this angle over here.
Yeah.
But don't forget, we also know that a straight angle, what is the measure of this angle right here?
180 degrees.
Yeah. So what is this angle?
180 degrees.
This angle is 180 minus 141, right? Because that whole angle is 180. So this angle is whatever 180 minus 141 is.
Which is 39.
39. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so our second angle is 39.
And now how can you find the measure of angle 2?
39 plus 108 plus x equals 180.
Perfect.
And then 39 plus 108.
So that's 147.
And then 180 divided by 140. Is it divided?
Not divided. No, not divided. Yeah.
147.
33?
Yeah, 33.
So measure of angle 2 is 33.
All right.
I'm assuming that's what they wanted you to find.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
All right. All right. Tell me how to do this one.
So you have a right angle in there. And so you know that one side is 90 degrees. And then you have 4x minus 69. That's on the outside. And it's equal to 180. I think so. 90. Do I set up an equation like 4x minus 69 plus 90 equals 180?
Something like that, but I don't think it's plus 90 equals 180. Isn't it plus? Let's call this y right here.
Is it 4x minus 69 equals 90?
Nope, because this doesn't necessarily equal 90 right here.
Yeah.
This plus whatever this is equals what?
180.
Right. So let's write that. Let's call this y.
All right.
And let's just write y plus 4x minus 69 equals 180. Okay. Now, this is kind of a little bit of a tricky problem. There's a couple ways you can do it. Do you remember in algebra when you did systems of equations?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to have to do here. There's one equation. I mean, that's not, you don't have to do it that way, but that's kind of like what ultimately you're going to have to do here.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Better. Well, you could do it that way. So you could set this equation up, and then you could set up another equation: x plus y plus 90 equals 180. Whoops, x plus y.
Yeah.
Plus x plus y plus 9 equals 180. And then you can solve this by a system of equations. You could do that. Or you could also notice this, and this they may have taught you this in your book somewhere, but you notice that, do you see how this plus this equals 180?
Yeah.
But do you see also how this plus this equals 180?
Uh-huh.
Which is kind of like what I've written here. So do you see how y plus something, y plus this equals 180, or y plus this equals 180? So what you could say is, you could say, hey, look, x plus 90, whatever this is, has to be equal to whatever this is.
Okay.
And that's kind of that's actually the quickest way to do it. Let me rewrite this. Y plus x plus 90 equals 180. You can kind of see it when I even set this up. You see how I'm adding y to this thing, and I'm adding y to this thing, and in both cases I get 180. So in essence, this has to equal this. These two things have to add up to the same thing that this one angle is.
Yeah.
Because in both cases, you're adding them to a y and you're getting 180. That's 180 and that's 180. So this equals this. So you could have just gone straight to that if you recognize that. X plus 90 equals 4x minus 69. Basically, you can go straight to that equation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that? I know that's kind of tricky.
Yeah, I understand it.
So then how would I solve this equation?
You do x plus 4.
Okay.
Yeah, x plus 4. So you have 5x. And then 90.
Hold on. Are they on the same side of the equation?
No, they're not. So you have to subtract them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have 3x.
Let's subtract x from both sides.
Yeah. So you have 3x left. And then 90 minus 69. So
nope, don't subtract it.
Adam?
Yeah, for the same reason. See, they're on the opposite sides.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to add 69 to both sides.
69 to 90.
So 159 equals 3x.
And then you get 50.
So divide 53.
Yep.
That sounds right. So 53. If x is 53, is that all they wanted, just to find out what x is?
Yeah.
What do the instructions say?
I can't see the first part of the question.
Yeah, I can't either. Let me see it real quick. So they wanted the value of the variables, and they wanted the variables and the angles. So now you have to go in and find. Basically, you have to go in and you have to plug x back in, 53 back in to here as well.
Okay. So
plug 53 times 4.
Yep.
Is 212 minus 69.
153.
There you go. Good?
Yep.
All right, let's see this last one. So they probably want you to find a 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Okay. So again, let's think it through. what's the easiest one? Look at those things and what's the easiest one to find? 1, 2, or 3?
I say 3
Okay. Why do you think 3 is easiest?
because it has a 45 near it.
Okay. 3 is not the hardest one to find, but it's not the easiest one in my opinion.
Okay.
What do we need to find? What would I need to be able to find 3? Wouldn't I need this and this?
Yeah, you would.
And do I have these?
No.
Or wouldn't I need this and this? Because you see how this big triangle?
Yeah.
See how that you could either use this smaller triangle to find it or the bigger triangle.
Yeah.
So you could do that because you already have this and this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could do that, but I kind of think number 1 is an easier angle to find. Tell me why.
Yeah. So.
Do you see where 1 is? You see the triangle right here?
Yeah, I see that triangle.
So what do I know? What can I write about? What can I write?
Well, the top is 40,
Mm-hmm.
and then plus 75
Mm-hmm.
plus x equals 180.
Perfect. You see how easy that was?
Yeah, and then
We're calling that x. Yep. So this is what, 115?
15, and then so you got 65.
Perfect. So if that's 65, now what can I find? If this one's 65.
You can do 40. You can do 65 plus 45 plus x equals 180.
Well, no, because this is not. You got to be careful. This and 45 aren't in the same triangle.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
But I can do what with this right here?
With 45.
What do I know about this? A straight. Remember, don't forget that the 3 angles in a triangle equal 180, but what else equals 180?
A straight line.
A straight line. So what can I do to find 2 now?
You can do 45 plus 1.
Nope. I don't know 3 yet. See, in order to use that, I would need to know 3, but I don't know 3 yet. But I know angle 1. And what did I say about angle 1 and angle 2? What do they have to add up to?
180.
Mm-hmm. So what can I say? Let's call this y. I can say y plus 65 equals what?
180.
Yep. And so what does y equal?
Y equals 180 minus 60. 115.
Mm-hmm. Now, notice one other thing. Remember we were talking on that last picture? Do you remember what the relationship is between this angle and the 2 other angles in the triangle next to it? See how this y plus 65 equals 180? But
Yeah.
so do these things plus 65. So these things must equal y. And that's what they do. See, it's 115. Those things added up to the same thing as y. So you could have, the more you do this, the more you recognize those patterns and that kind of stuff. So you maybe could have done that a little bit quicker, but I think that was a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And then now what do I do? How can I find number 3?
Can find number 3 by doing 115 plus 45 plus x equals 180.
We'll call it z because we already used x, but yep. So that equals 160. 160 plus z equals 180. So what is z?
180 minus 160.
Which is?
Crap, what I get? 20.
Perfect. You got it. All right. That's it.
All right.
So go back through and watch those videos.